doing some fun stuff today. Thought you guys might want to join in and watch me work. I was just playing around with some new impression mats from Marvelous Molds, and I was just kind of testing them out and seeing how they work, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is like so freaking cool. I really need to share. So these are the three new ones. There's a sequin, there's one that's pearl, and then there is my favorite. Tell me what that looks like to you. I think it's supposed to be sequins, but I'm just going to go ahead and say that is fish scales. So I wanted to show you guys a couple of, you know, simple techniques for using these and then show you what I'm using them for. So I'm going to grab a different colored fondant. So this is the Renshaw turquoise. I just grabbed it out of the bag, so it's a little bit stiff. I'm going to just condition my fondant. When I knead out my fondant, I always use vegetable shortening to get it soft. This actually helps the fondant not stick to the mold. So just until it's smooth. I'm going to start to roll it out. Apologize for my messy work surface. I am actually working today, so there's actually kind of stuff all over. So you take your fondant, and if you are nervous, you can dust it with a little bit of cornstarch, just not too much. It's enough to take away the stick. Who here has used Marvelous Molds onlays before? It's like a different type of mold where it does two things. It impresses a texture onto your fondant, but it also cuts away the excess. It's this like patented technology that they have. So you just keep rolling, and eventually the edges cut off. So you don't have to worry about like cutting these, you know, sharp edges, which is always a pain. And I always find that once I start getting down to the, you know, the edges, that a hard rolling pin cuts a little bit better than the silicone rolling pin. Come on. There you go. Just rolling. Anywhere where it's thick, it's going to take a little bit longer to cut through. Probably could have rolled out that fondant a little bit thinner at first. You see that just cuts away. So then you just flip it over, and you can put this on top of your cake or cake board or whatever, and you just lift it up and it just comes right off. And you have like this perfect texture. And the great thing is the way that these molds are made is that this end right here locks into this end. So you can make a continuous texture and not have any seams. My handy dandy blade knife. This is a pen blade X-Acto. Well, it's not an X-Acto, it's pen blade. X-Acto is just a brand. This is this month's Sugar Geek Show gift. We've done these a long time ago, but a lot of people have asked us to send new ones because the originals have worn out or whatever. So new pen blades coming in the mail to the You Elite members, just FYI. And then, since this is kind of like a sequin, you can kind of dust it. I was experimenting with black earlier. This is the True Color Deep Violet Shine. This is an all-natural, mineral-based dust. Can you imagine this with gold? Like, oh my God. So you can just see how the light catches that. And you can see there's like there's like a lot of detail in this mold. You know, you can see like every little facet. So I just think that this would just make such a gorgeous fish scale. I'm going to put some gold on it. just because I love gold and I really want to see what it looks like. Mix up the gold. Doesn't it totally look like fish scales? But we gotta put some gold on it. We just gots to. I feel like you know, gold sequins is something that's very trendy, so I just want to see. You can see the coverage of this Truly Mad Plastics gold is like amazing. As Candace Lennon says, it is the truth. Insane coverage. So you can see the detail really well after you put the gold on there too. So it's really cool. I like it. I like it, I like it. And then of course there is the multiple pearl mat, which I'm not going to play with right now. I'm going to be working on my cake board here. So I'm going to show you how these interlock together. This is the sequins mat. This is the one that I really like too. So I'm using this mat to actually cover my board, because you know, I talk a lot about how covering your board really adds a lot of value to your overall cake, and kind of is a way of stepping up your cake game to make it stand out in front of other people's stuff, you know? So like if you make a cake and it looks really nice, and another person makes a cake and it looks really nice, you know, why is a client going to buy your cake over the other person's cake? And sometimes it just comes down to how professional the overall cake looks. And it might not be something that the client can necessarily put their finger on, you know? It's not like, oh, it's just so clean, or I really like the colors. It might be something that they just don't even subconsciously know about, which is that, well, it's just a more finished cake, right? It just looks more finished, more clean, and more professional. So of course, nobody wants to spend tons of time covering their boards. So this is like a really easy way to add some super cool texture to your board while still keeping it edible and also making it go really fast. So this time I rolled out my fondant a little bit thinner. This is the black Renshaw that I've mixed with 50% white. And then I also added a little bit of Tylose powder to it just to make it a little bit stiffer, because you know, the black fondant is always really soft, and always is super hot in my garage. Just wait for that to cut off. Pull off the excess. I have my board here that I've already started. I've got some vegetable shortening on the board to get it to stick. And we're just going to line up these two things. What's great is that the actual mold itself is see-through, you know, so you can actually position it perfectly, and you don't have any issues with being like, oh, is it in the right spot? Like, you know, how do I position it correctly? I'm just gonna get it going by pulling out, lifting off, and voila. And you know, I'm using this for my cake board, but obviously you could do this easily on a cake. So this is just how it looks with nothing on it. It's already pretty dang shiny. And then I was experimenting with this black pearl. This is the True Color Black Pearl Shine. I think this is, you know, these are meant to be brushed on wet, but I actually really like how it looks when it's dry brushed. I think it holds the shine better. I am not coming to Cake International this year, unfortunately. I've got a big show in St. Louis in a little under a month. It's going to be the Show Me Sweets Cake Show. And I'm going to be having my very first Sugar Geek show booth with actual products to sell, my molds, my t-shirts, mugs, tools, like all that good stuff is going to be there. And I'm going to be working on a collaborative showpiece with my good friend Mike Brown from MB Creative, who is the pumpkin carver on our on this season of Halloween Wars. So me and Mike and Christoph was the pastry chef. we're going to be on Halloween Wars, and I cannot wait for it to come out for everybody to watch. And then, yeah, so you see how that adds some shine there. And then I'm going to take some of my confectioner's glaze. This is a eyedropper bottle that my friend Danette got for me, and it usually has an eyedropper in it, but what I did was I took a paintbrush and I cut off the end and glued it to the inside of the eyedropper. So I have a permanent, you know, brush for my confectioner's glaze, because otherwise they just keep getting ruined, right? Anybody who's used confectioner's glaze knows. Although this is a pretty small brush. Strong smelling too. So you can see we've taken the you know, the sequins, which were black, and we've added some shine as far as like metallics go to sort of bring out the detail. And now we're adding confectioner's glaze. So this will dry shiny. Confectioner's glaze is literally what you know, people use to make candy shiny. It's like on the outside of M&Ms. So it's got a very strong smell because it's alcohol based, but you know that wears off. But look how shiny. I mean, wouldn't that look so beautiful on the outside of a cake? It'd be gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So I'm going to do one more. All right. Lock that puppy up. Make sure I'm on camera. Push down. Ooh, so pretty. Go. I'm just going to cut the excess off right here. And then, watch this. I'll flip this baby around. The extras. And just put it right here. I already have my second piece started. It lines right up. Pretty freaking awesome. I'm just going to rub out those seams a little bit, so they're a little bit less noticeable. It literally lines up with the sequin next to it. It's a seamless design. So it's pretty easy to make it look like it's all one piece. Come back with our shine. So that's basically it. I'm just going to be doing this over and over again, so I'm not going to bore you guys with the details. But if you want to check out the new Simpress impression mats, they're on marvelousmolds.com. They have all kinds of gorgeous versions. And just remember, whenever you're buying a mold or any sort of tool, think to yourself, will this make my life easier? Will this allow me to make impressive designs for my clients quicker? So if it's just something that's kind of cool, but you don't think it's really going to save you time, then it's not going to be saving you money. So you always want to be looking for things, just like I am, that help me do my job faster, more efficiently, and, you know, look really nice, obviously. So I'm going to also bake my board in the oven. If you're curious what that is, just check it out on sugargeekshow.com, how to bake your boards. And it's just a process of putting it in the oven to firm up the fondant so that when you place something on top, it doesn't, you know, damage all of the beautiful work you've done. So that's it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this little mini product review. And if you guys use these, tag me in them. I'd love to see what you guys are creating, and especially the fish one. All right, talk to you later, guys. Bye.